It's time to give you a little bit of attention, huh? Alright, I got some stuff for you. Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be working on my old Craftsman 12-inch bandsaw here. This is one of the pieces of equipment that has been in the family for a little while. In the past, I've already changed the belt on it. You can see it's a little bit newer belt. I had to replace it some time back due to the fact that it just wound up falling apart and it would not stay on. I've got to replace some of the bands on it, and I'm going to be replacing the light for it. The light has never worked since I've owned it. So I was able to get these urethane bands, the tires, and I was able to find some lights for it. Now these are HQRP lights. Yeah, they're made in China. I know. Putting China-made products on American-made equipment, but there's not much I can do. These are LED lights that I'm going to be putting on there. This bulb is what was on there. I couldn't find anywhere in the filament where it was broke, and so I think the bulb itself was good, but these posts on this thing are really marled up. Come on now, focus a little bit for me. Well, you can see it even with the fuzziness. The studs were really freaking marled up, so I think that might have been the issue. So I'm going to get those replaced. Oh well, just the light. It's just one out. This one, the extra one, will just be a backup. It came in a 2-pack, and go ahead and get both of these replaced on here. I'm actually missing the top one, so I'll be putting it on the top one, and going ahead and replacing the bottom one since I've got it, so I might as well do it. So I'm also going to be sanding down the deck and kind of getting it polished up a little bit. I'll be running through 60, 80, and 120 grit on the deck, so that way, because I think with my table saw I only hit it with 60 grit, which I'll in the process I'll be hitting that as well, getting it back up because there's already a little bit of surface rust on it. So I'll be dealing with that as well, and I'll be showing you guys some of the things I'll be doing on here. I don't know about the bearings, but I'll be talking a little bit about it as I'm going along. So let's go ahead and jump on to it. All right, so I've got 4 nuts, one at each corner, and that just goes ahead and pops right on off once you get these undone. Now what I found is to try to get the bottom out a little bit, hold it there, and kind of work the top, and then come back to the bottom, and it'll come right off. And I said I don't know if let's go ahead and check the light, see if this is the deal with this. Ooh. Yeah, something's not quite right there. I think something's going on inside here. Now you can kind of see that's wanting to turn on right now, which isn't quite right. So I don't know if it's just kind of, I think there's something going on inside this. Like the wire, see, I'm moving one of the wires. So maybe, and why it's doing this, I don't know. Oh yeah, see, wow, that wire just completely came out. All right, so that explains why it wasn't working. So I'll have to come back to that. I'll have to figure out what's up. You know what, let's go ahead and just take this on off. I'll go ahead and pull this off real quick and come back to it. Now it turns out I'm gonna have to replace this, but I'm gonna have to do some digging because I was trying to find this part on their website, on the Craftsman's website, and I can't seem to find it at all. So I'm gonna do some extra digging and try to find it to where it'll take these bulbs. So I'm gonna have to put this back together, but this slides in there kind of like so, and here's the screw. It's a tiny little sucker with a flat head. This guy here fits in here in the back, somehow to where you can just thread this on in there. Yeah, play with it a little bit. You gotta make sure when you go take this apart, you don't lose any parts. And it appears it doesn't want to take, so I'll flip it around. There we go. Now here, this little piece, I found out it's better to unscrew it and bring it out to be able to pull the socket off. So this screw is just a simple screw with a extension here, a spacer more or less, to keep it away from the wheel. So I should have done more investigation on this before I started doing the video, or I would have went ahead and replaced that socket today. But it's going to be another day, another project, and probably won't even get it on video. So, because it'll probably just end up being a simple change out. But yeah, it is just simply a toggle switch over here that powers this on. So let's go ahead and get this band off and go ahead and get the tires replaced. A little bit of a side note here. This top knob here is to adjust for the blade, and this gauge over here is set for, it actually has a little dowel that comes, not dowel, a little pointer that comes down here to this see-through gauge. This gauge is set up for 1/8, quarter, 3/8, and half, I think. Yeah, 1/2 inch. And that is the width of the blade. And so it's not the thickness of your material, it's the thickness of your blade. I found that out the hard way. And of course, here's this. This is more for round cutting. So this is how you set it up. This is your blade size for this diameter of cutting. So that's that. So I'll show you the pointer on the other side. So up in here is the pointer. It actually goes through the gauge, and you can see it there. So let's go ahead and get this adjusted down and get going. Get it on, go ahead and get it on off. Go. Now this used to have a little knob here to keep the blade inside. It's long gone now. I don't know whatever happened to it. I think it just vibrated loose the last time we moved. Gonna get these bands out and get them replaced. Go ahead and get this top one on. This should, you know what? I will have to take this back off. For this band, the main screw for the light has to come out. One I just showed you about, one with the extension, that has to come off in order to replace these. Now this is going to be interesting. It said it was supposed to be a snug fit, so, and yes, I made sure I ordered the right one. Okay, well, it's going to be a hassle, so I'll go ahead and come back to it. Alright, so whenever you get this on, if you've ever replaced a tire, it's quite literally the exact same thing. These are supposed to be tight, and you just work it around. I wound up using a couple of clamps and a screwdriver, and you clamp it. I got it stretched out, clamped it, and then just started working it and moving the clamp as I was going along. And one thing I think I should mention, I don't know how else is picking it up, but see how this portion is lower than this portion up here? That's because it's still not completely seated, so you need to make sure that you work this. Once you get it on there, you work it down, and it should kind of click into place, so to speak. But you'll hear it whenever you start messing with it. So I just figured I'd at least mention that to you guys. I'll go ahead and get on to it. Go ahead and get the bottom one replaced as well. Alright, got the bands on. Brand new bands. Got went and shot vacked it out. I'm going to end up doing electrical on a different video. Cause I gotta get this replaced. And I'm going to end up getting a proper clamp for this here. And I greatly neglected on the electrical system on this, so getting prepped for it. So I'll end up doing a separate video for it on how to do it and all that. So next I want to go ahead and sand this down, because as you may be able to tell, it actually sits higher than the deck itself. So I gotta get this sanded down and make it more flush, because it's just a pain in the rear. I had actually made this a few years back and it works, but not very well. So I gotta, like I said, sand it down. So go ahead and deal with that real quick and get on to it. Alright, so got the puck ground down, I believe enough. I'll hit it with the sander and kind of do this little number with it, kind of get it to bevel down a little bit. I have just enough gap with the sander to be able to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and go ahead and get this sanded down and get her done. Alright, so got the deck pretty well sanded down and polished up a little bit. Use some of that wax, vehicle wax, to clean it up a little bit better. So it's actually pretty smooth, and this disc, the set disc or whatever the heck this is called, is actually pretty well flush now. So I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm going to do an overall wipe down and clean up of this. I already shot back the inside, and that stuff's already done, and I just got to do some cleanup dusting it off pretty much, and get back up to going. And I gotta get the blade on there too, so I'll get that on there and set and so on. So we'll get her done. All right, so whenever you go to lube this up, make sure you hit these shafts in the back for here for your adjustment. I'll go ahead and get on the top there, on these there, that point and that point over there. I'll go ahead and get the lower part as well, and might as well hit that spring and rest of this adjustment. This guide bar, go ahead, might as well get it as well. Where's that? Yeah, right there. This guide bar, might as well get it and clean, do it up. These bearings, these backer bearings, if you ever have to replace them, it's just simply a flat head on those, of course, or whatever it may be for on yours. You also got some down here, some stuff to lube up. You've got your tilt that you have to deal with. And I don't know, I mean, most of this stuff is non-serviceable, so all of it's closed bearings. That's just the way that they made them back then. But it's still working. It's been working for quite some time, so as long as it works, and it does, that's all that matters. I got this pretty well, somewhat anyways, dusted off. I know it's just going to end up getting dirtier, so it's a never-ending deal with this stuff, so with woodworking tools. But I'm pretty well happy with this, especially with this disc. That was a big deal. I do need to go ahead and get the bands back in there, but I'm not terribly worried. But you guys get the pretty well gist of it all, so it just simply goes back in reverse order. I am glad I got back, go ahead and get new bands. That was a big deal. So if you guys want to go check out our TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, I do up 1 to 3 minute videos. I post pictures about projects and updates on them, and usually those are before I even post the main video here on YouTube. So if you want to go check those out, I'm always asking questions on that, and on between Facebook and Twitter, I'm usually asking questions. So I want to get this stuff linked in the description for you guys. That way you can go ahead and move on straight to it and go about from there. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the video verse. All right, video verse is Hebrews chapter 6, verses 9 through 12. It says, "Even though we are speaking this way, dearly loved friends, in your case we are confident of things that are better and that pertain to salvation. For God is not unjust. He will not forget your work and the love you demonstrated for his name by serving the saints, and by continuing to serve them. Now we desire each of you to demonstrate the same diligence for the full assurance of your hope until the end, so that you won't become lazy, but will be imitators of those who inherit the promises through faith and perseverance." That's Hebrews chapter 6, verses 9 through 12. I'll see you guys in the next one.